Hello, fourth grade readers and writers. Welcome back to ELA School, Away from School, and I'm your virtual teacher, Mrs. Ewing. All right, so let's get started. We're actually in week 8, and we're on daily lesson 34. And let's review our guiding questions. What can we learn from the process of ratifying the 19th Amendment? And really, when we started this whole project or unit, we really started out thinking about the process of ratifying the 19th Amendment in which women were able to have the right to vote. And then we were able to see how that evolved into other movements for people to get equality. So let's look at the next guiding question. How can stories inspire us to take action to contribute to a better world? How and why can we encourage and support others to contribute to a better world? We're going to be working on these last 2 guiding questions over the next 3 weeks. You're going to need your materials today. So you're going to need your new text, Chicago March, Let's Kids Speak Up About the Future of the World. You're going to need your lesson 34 and your lesson 34 note catcher. Now remember, all those materials you can find in that ELA packet. And then you're going to need your sharpened pencil. All right, so those are your tools for today. I am going to wait right here for you and go collect your materials. Great, now that you have what you need, let's go ahead and look at our learning target. I can determine the main idea of a text and find supporting details. So we've done a lot of work around main idea and supporting details. So today as I read and you follow along, go ahead and start making notes that will help you in finding that main idea and underline the supporting details that you feel like really define, support, explain that main idea. All right, so let's get started. I do want to remind you that we've been reading and thinking about the 19th Amendment and how it helped women find equality with voting rights. This led us to read about how women work to ensure not just equality based on sex, but equality for all races. Now we're going to research how kids and young adults have acted on issues they feel strongly about. So as you read over the next couple days, think about our guiding questions. How can stories inspire us to take action to contribute to a better world? So we're really going to be thinking about that guiding question. All right, so let's go ahead and start reading. I'm going to read it aloud for you, but when I'm done, feel free to read with your family member, a caregiver, or a friend. All right, so go grab your text so you can follow along with me. All right, so now that you have your text, let's get started. All right, so the title of our text this week is Chicago March, Let's Kids Speak Up About the Future of the World. We have a picture here and then a caption. It says, Catherine Cook school students from left, Karen Matthew, Ava Baldessari, Kelsey Bentram, Kayla Norsom, and Hawkeye Purtle are pictured as they organize a children's march through downtown Chicago, Illinois, set for May 20th, 2017. Millions of people took part in the Women's March in January. They marched to send the message that women's rights are important. In April, there's another march. Tens of thousands of people joined the March for Science. These marchers showed up to support scientists and the work they do. 3 important issues. The marches inspired a group of 6th graders in Chicago, Illinois. Now the students are planning a march of their own. On March 20th, they will march through downtown Chicago. The students are calling it the Chicago Children's March for the Future. They are hoping to raise awareness about the 3 E's, the environment, education, and equal rights. Kids have a voice. All right, let's go to our next page. In recent months, there have been many protests in the United States and around the world. People are speaking out when they disagree with their government. They are fighting against ideas they believe are wrong and unfair. All the while, kids have been watching. They are learning to speak up about the world. After all, one day, they will be in charge of it. We want to show people that children have a voice, said Hawkeye Purtle. Hawkeye is 12 years old. He goes to Catherine Cook School in Chicago. He is one of the march organizers. Using social media to share information, Hawkeye planned the march with 4 classmates. Kieran Matthew, Ava Baldessari, Kelsey Bentram, and Kayla Norsman. The children have received permission from the city to march. They've also set up social media accounts to tell people about the event. The march will begin with a rally in the Chicago's City Hall. The march will begin with a rally near Chicago City Hall. The marchers will then walk around the downtown area. They will end up back at the starting point. Not just one big idea. Hawkeye says the march is not for or against any one person. It is not about one big idea either. Marchers can march for many different reasons. We're protesting to make sure people understand the time to act is now, Hawkeye said. Hawkeye's biggest concern is the environment, he said. We're passionate about keeping the environment healthy, Hawkeye said. Our leaders must focus on the planet over profits and politics. He wants to make sure the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has enough money. The EPA is a government agency. It was created to protect the environment. President Trump has threatened to take a big chunk of the EPA's money. This would make it hard for the agency to do its work. Hawkeye also wants the United States to follow the Paris Climate Agreement. This deal was signed by more than 200 world leaders. President Obama signed it before he left office. The leaders agreed to take steps to cut down on pollution. President Trump has said that he may pull out of the agreement. Ava has a different focus, education. She wants teachers to get more support from people and the government. Ava said she has read about teachers who have to raise money online. It's the only way they can afford to buy supplies for their students. All right, last page. I think that shouldn't happen anymore, she said. Kelsey, meanwhile, will be marching for equal rights. We believe everyone is equal, and they should be treated that way, she said. Kid power. The students are hoping people of all ages will come to the march, but they would most like to see a big crowd of kids show up. We're hoping that kids will be what this is all about, Hawkeye said. The students created a website to share information about the march. It has a section called Why We March. This section says that the marchers are demanding action from their leaders. They want government leaders to protect people who need help the most. Though we may be young, we may be small, together we will change the world, the website says. All right, isn't that such a great article? And so inspiring too. All right, so now that we've read our article, I want you to do some thinking. What is this article about? How would you summarize the big idea or main idea the author wants us to take away in one sentence? And remember, we said if we summarize in one sentence, it's really giving the main idea of the article. And what supporting details support the author's main idea? All right, pause this video and think about this now. All right, great. So we've read our article, we've thought about our article. You know what comes next? We're going to do some talking about our article. Now, I want to remind you, the main idea is the big idea the author wants you to understand and take away from reading a text. A supporting detail is information from the text that supports, explains, defines, or proves the main idea. All right, first question I want you to talk about with a family member, a caregiver, or a friend. What is the article mostly about? All right, great. How would you summarize the big idea or main idea the author wants us to take away in one sentence? What supporting details support the author's main idea? All right, pause this video. Talk about this now. All right, great. So now that you've already started thinking about what is the main idea of this article and what supporting details help to support it, let's go ahead. So we've read, we've thought, we've now had a discussion, we've talked about it, we're ready to write. So let's go write. Using the Lesson 34 note catcher, record your main idea. Then find 3 supporting details from the text and record them on the note catcher. So you're going to notice in that first box, you're going to record how you would summarize the big idea or main idea the author wants you to take away in one sentence. So write that main idea sentence there. In the second box, you're going to record your supporting details. So what explicit information from the text supports your thinking about the main idea. All right, pause this video and do that writing now. Great, welcome back. All right, so as you were thinking about the main idea, you probably were able to capture somewhere that this article really talks about how these students decided they wanted to make a difference, so they organized a march to support ideas they feel really strongly about. Right, so you might not have said it exactly like that, but somewhere you want to capture that these students want to make a difference in the world, so they organize this march in order to support things that they feel strongly about or issues they think will change the world. All right, so somewhere in there, really capture that main idea. All right, you guys did an awesome job today. I want you to think about how you did with your discussions, with your writing, and give me a thumbs up, thumbs to side, or thumbs down. How do you feel like you did on determining the main idea of the text and finding supporting details? I think you probably did pretty good, right? Being able to get in there and think, what is the big idea the author wants me to take away? And what details really support that big idea? All right, so now I want you to share your writing with someone. Tell them why you chose to draw or write what you did. And then after you complete this assignment, remember to read a book with your family member, your caregiver, or your friend for at least 20 minutes. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? All right, last thing. We're going to do that fluency practice. So you're going to use a timer, cell phone timer, kitchen timer, have someone count to 60. But read the passage for 1 minute, count the words you read, write that number at the top of your text. All right, I'm so super proud of all the great work you've been doing, and I'm excited to dive in and do another read around this text tomorrow with you and really think about the vocabulary in this text. All right, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.